Hey guys, so in today's video I wanted to cover some of the strongest spells ever introduced and used in Wizard 101. I made a list that I thought about every school and I thought about the history of Wiz, so let's get right into it. These aren't in any necessary order, but maybe later in the video I'll talk about some sort of ranking or tier list. So first of all, the original glow bugs for Storm was like extremely powerful. It might have been an AoE, and I think it removed like all positive charms on opponents. So it was basically like a super strong AoE plus an enfeeble. Correct me if I'm wrong though. Then we obviously have Lore Master, so there's been several iterations of the Lore Master spell. The original one had pretty good DPP, probably around 400 damage, 450 damage, especially enchanted back when there were pre-enchants where you could use the boosting spells in your treasure cards, and basically have up to like Colossal was like plus 300, made it insanely strong, spammable, gave both a Black Mantle and a small weakness. Then Earthquake, I mean, just for the utility in the history of Wizard 101, probably both main deck Earthquake, but also treasure card Earthquake, and very used historically, as well as a couple item cards. Minotaur, way back in the day in first stage, the regular Minotaur spell was one of the best spells. A lot of schools used the Myth Mastery, especially a school like Life or a school like Death. And with Spirit Blades up back when you were like a Magus and the max level was level 50, and there was no Glendemming's gear, Minotaur was incredibly powerful. And if you don't believe me, just look at my first stage rank. Okay? 404, 96. Then we have Stone Colossus, which is a recent spell for Myth, which I may have spellments for on this actual life character. Let's see. Stone Colossus. Talked about this several times. This spell makes no sense whatsoever. Punishes the opponent for weaknessing you and does like great or good DPP damage per pip. So this spell makes no sense, especially that Myth has a super easy time countering shields as well. And we have Mana Burn. Of course, you guys know Mana Burn. Also been several iterations of this, but I believe the original one made the opponent lose 5 white pips in like any combination and did 80 damage per pip on the opponent. Supernova, DPP insane, utility insane, did like 475 damage, or even more maybe originally, like maybe even 600, 700 damage, or I guess that was enchanted possibly, for only 2 pips. We have Elucidate, which, as most of you probably know, before it was like a trading like value and power item. It was a remove 2 pips from a spell, so it's basically an enchant that made you be able to kill your opponent unexpectedly with a very, very strong hit, like a 3-pip Stormzilla. Then Black Mantle, I spoke about this in my previous video, but there was, for example, the minus 60% and the minus 55% Black Mantles from different packs that were PvP legal back in the day. Then I put Judgment TC, so obviously that's been banned for like a little while now. 125 damage per pip with 14 pips. Let's do some quick math. So that's 10 pips times 125 is 1250. Then there's 4 pips, so 4 pips times 125 is 500. So if my math is correct, what did I say? Let me just redo that again. Okay. Blah, 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 blah. 10 times 125 equals 1250. 4 times 125 equals 500. So 14 pip Judge did 1650 base. And then, yeah, I mean, pretty much that. Or you could enchant it also back in the day, regular Judgment, and you'd have basically like a plus 300, let's say with Colossal. So you'd have basically, let's say, a 1 pip Judge, 400 base, something like that. Correct me if I'm wrong. Okay, guys, next up, Burning Rampage. So the original version of Burning Rampage, if you guys even still know what that spell is, where the one with the Sunbird and the Farzilla. The original version, I believe, only had like 2 turns lag, if not, yeah, I believe it wasn't even 3, it was just 2. It was like, and that was before turn base. It was super hard to counter. So essentially, you'd cast it. If you went first and the opponent didn't triage immediately, the next round it did 700 damage. So basically it was insane and basically made fire extremely powerful for X amount of time, especially with first turn. Even going second was very difficult, even when it was 3 pips, because there wasn't like any Rochambeaus or anything like that. It was harder to counter damages over time. If you comboed it into a Fire Elf or something, it was very easy to mess up the opponent. You could cast Burning Rampage from first turn and then feint the second turn, and pretty much GG. Ifrit used to be minus 90, as most of you might know, may or may not. Used to put a minus 90 weakness for both the regular and the treasure card version, I believe, did that. And in fact, some item cards, I believe, or even just the regular original TCD, put a minus 95% weakness on the opponent. Then we have Storm Owl treasure card. So that was banned like not too long ago as well. Storm Owl treasure card, which just, I guess, KI decided that it had dealt too much damage, even though Calendar is arguably stronger. Triton treasure card as well, super high DPP. Triton's always been an ultra powerful spell. Storm's always been kind of mid, if not bad, in PvP, but Triton was always super strong. Satyr, just the utility, the constant question of how much healing is too much healing, outgoing, you know, they banned incoming. But Satyr, obviously, in the history of Wiz, like, probably one of the most clicked spells ever in the history of Wiz, along with, like, Tower Shield, you know? Then, I mean, we could even put Tower, TC Tower, if we want, and Steel Ward, TC. Availing Hand's not really that powerful, but definitely pretty good. Dark Juju, the original Dark Juju spam, where you basically just took like 250 or 300 damage to yourself, which if you had high resist wouldn't do very much to yourself. You could wear the Jade gear on death. Not sure if that's Wyvern's Horde or something else, but anyway, whatever the Jade Hood of Mystery, Robe of Mystery, Boots of Mystery, whatever. Basically just spam Dark Juju, puts a minus 90% weakness, if I remember correctly, on the opponent, so Deaths would spam that. Back in the day there was Cloak and then Reshuffle strategy, so basically Death v Death could literally last however long you wanted, 14 hours, 16 hours matches, okay? And max, it was like one champion, like 120 was the max, Death v Death, or Death v Life. Then we have Dr. Vaughn treasure card, which was banned recently. The value was kind of too high because 900 plus drain means basically, in terms of value for trading, 1350 for 9 pips. So you could be dogging a death, and then they cast this Dr. Vaughn when y'all are both at half HP, and boom, the momentum's completely flipped, and now you're losing quite badly. Orthrus, the original Orthrus was very, very used, especially at very low levels. It was like a Minotaur, but stronger. It did something along the lines of 110 plus 700 damage in one turn for 7 pips. Triage back in the day was obviously way better. There was like a lot of debate, like back in the David Lotus video days, whether Triage should be 1 pip, 2 pip, or even banned for non-life wizards, banned as a treasure card. Fire Salamander, I don't even know what this spell is actually called, but obviously with Stephen Fire and other wizards, probably in 4th Age, I believe, this spell was way too strong for 6 pips. I did something along the lines of this, and then you could, for 6 pips, and then you could Beast Moon. Oh, Ember Everburn is probably too strong now that I think about it. Recording real quick. Okay, pre-enchants. Now we have, that's my calculations. Okay, so that's pretty much it. Then I just talked about pre-enchants, 14 pip judge. Yeah, so that's most of it. Let's see how long. We're 8 minutes and 30 seconds in. That's a pretty good length, guys. So let me know what y'all think. Let me know what obvious ones I missed. I'm probably missing, like, definitely a few. You could probably say that if you want the Clockwork Helper minion. It was very strong. There's a couple, I can think of other minions. Oh, the Animate minion is pretty strong. Talos minion, certain points in history was pretty strong. Maybe the Baba, I don't do that much high level. I've never done that much high level. So Baba Yaga into King Art for Myth was very strong at some point. Trying to think off the top of my head, guys. Yeah, I mean, the new Mockenspiel is good. I mean, Rusalka is obviously very high value. But yeah, let me know if I missed any obvious ones, like whatever y'all want to add. But I'm pretty sure I covered a lot of them for a lot of the schools. Obviously, when Ice Colossus was miscoded, I'll try to actually spell this, but it was very, very strong. Yeah, and another one as honorable mention is Fire Elf in all its forms. Very good spell for 2 pips. So was Leprechaun technically, especially when Lep Spellmented had the heal back. You could remove infections. Shout out to Zane, Jennifer Shade, who did very well using this to fight infections and using offensive life at legendary in 4th age. So yeah, guys, I think that covers a lot of spells. I hope you have an amazing day. Take care, and I will see you soon.